Randy Rain here, and welcome to my Easter egg special edition. This is where I make the Naut-Egg-Lis, along with some parables of my life with some underlining meaning. So let me get started. So I was born in 1971 in the middle of August. And back then, I never went to school on my birthday. Today, kids go to school on my birthday all the time. For me, back then, that never happened. Matter of fact, it put me in a position where I could either be held back or continued on for my age range in school. I probably should have been held back, but I wasn't. That's a whole different story. Because if I was held back, that would have made me the oldest, tallest, strongest, fastest, all of that. I wasn't held back. That made me the youngest, shortest, slowest, weakest of everyone in my class. And because of that, I could never play sports ball. Kids grow so fast. A year makes all the difference in the world. And so I never had anyone that I could play against and actually stand a chance of winning. So I never gravitated towards sports. I'm still not interested in sports. So instead, I gravitated towards art. That I could do. It didn't matter how fast I was, how strong I was, how far I could throw a ball, how accurate I could throw a ball. None of that mattered. And so every year of school that I had, there was an art class somewhere in there. But they also forced me to do athletics and sports and stuff. And back then, when I was in school, there were literally only 7 different sports you could do between girls and guys. Just 7. I mean, nowadays it's a lot different. I mean, there's other stuff. We didn't even have swimming or anything like that. And so it was either do one of these sports that I can't do, or I could go be a dork in the marching band. Then you have your other stuff like drill team and cheerleader and flag corps. I didn't want to do any of that stuff. And I couldn't play the sports ball. I had no choice but to be thrown into PE, physical education. Now, Jerry Seinfeld has a joke about PE being like Lord of the Flies. And the way he describes it is nothing compared to the Lord of the Flies I actually had to go through. My PE really was the Lord of the Flies. Because there was only 3 people who were in PE. That was your people who can't play sports ball, like me, your special education, where there's a reason why they can't play sports ball, and then the thugs who probably go home to parents who are drunk and beat them, and they have nothing but to beat up on the other ones. That was my PE. And so, like, I always skipped and I always snuck out, and I got in trouble a lot. I can remember asking the principal why I had to go and do this PE in this sports that I have no interest in. And I can remember the answer that he gave me. He said it's to teach teamwork and how to get along and work with others. That's what he said. Now, that definitely wasn't happening in PE, but I could see where it was going on with other sports things. But I still remember that to this day. And then I can remember in junior high, the football players. There was some other school that the football team was going to go play, and they were complaining about one of the kids on their team. And they were complaining that this kid was too big. He was gigantic. He looked like he should be in professional football with the wife and kids, that kind of thing. I can remember some of them just complaining, saying that's not fair. And I can remember thinking, well, now you know how I feel. But then I can remember other ones saying they wish he was on their team. And I remember not knowing what that's like, having somebody wanting on your sports team. I'm most definitely one of the ones you want to pick last, for sure, depending on what it is. Now, come to find out, in my 20s and 30s, I was quite the rock climber and could easily scale 5'10, 5'11 easily. I'm old now and my body hurts and I can't do that anymore. That would have been nice if my school had something like that, but this was, a million years ago. Which I know some schools actually have rock gyms now. I can also play stuff like bocce ball, that kind of stuff. I can do that. I like playing bocce ball. I stand a chance at that. But no, we didn't have anything like that either. So that's why I gravitated towards art. And that's why art has been a part of my life always. From after school, I went eventually into the film business, building things just like this and doing special effects. And I worked in Hollywood. Basically, my job is the same as now, is I make things that you can't go buy at the store. If you want something and you can't go buy it at the store, there's a chance I can make it for you. And that's what I still do, but it's mainly for entertainers nowadays. But then there's one last story I want to leave you with, and that's where this whole Easter egg thing comes from. Many years ago, my brother, who was divorced with 3 children, married a woman who was divorced with 3 children. It was like a dysfunctional Brady Bunch. But anyway, it worked out okay when the kids were younger. And when the kids were younger, the night before Easter, they would all gather around and they would make Easter eggs. And then the next day, on Easter, when the family would get together, the rest of the family would judge, and it was a contest to see who could make the best Easter egg. Now, the kids would always ask me to come over and make Easter eggs with them. They were always like, Randy, you like to make things. Come make Easter eggs with us. To them, it made total perfect sense. But to me, I knew there was a contest, and you don't want me making Easter eggs in your contest. You better come up with something more than googly eyes. And so I never would do it, and I'd tell them, no, I like to judge, which was true. I did like to judge theirs, so I could reward the actual creativity in some of them. But then the kids got older and snottier and more annoying and needed to be put in their place. That's when I joined the contest. But anyway, I think there is a time and a place when someone should bow out because they have a clear advantage over the contest that is being taken place. Now, however, I do believe there should be a contest for everyone because actually it's all about inclusion and team playing and learning to work with other people, being a good winner and a gracious loser and so forth, which is why I am throwing down the gauntlet. And I am claiming the greatest Easter egg maker. So I'm calling all the artists out there to prove me wrong. You have 1 year to do it. I look forward to seeing your submissions. Well, if you like this video, I'd appreciate a big thumbs up. If you want to see more stuff, of course, hit the subscribe button. I want to thank these people right here. These are the patrons. These are the people bringing you the Naut-Egg-Lis. I thank them oh so very, very much, and I couldn't do any of this stuff without their help. These are the people who keep me going. And if you'd like to be one of these people to help me and keep me going, of course, there's perks. And anyway, go check it out. There's links and all that. Thanks for watching for my Easter egg special.